Welcome to the Bible Quiz. Today, we dive deep into the rich tapestry of the Old Testament. We've curated 25 of the hardest questions to truly test your biblical knowledge and understanding. Are you prepared to demonstrate your mastery of these ancient scriptures? But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us share the profound messages of the Old Testament with a wider audience. After completing the quiz, please drop a comment below to share how many questions you answered correctly. We're excited to engage with you and support your journey through the Old Testament, ready to take on this formidable challenge. Let's begin this epic biblical quest. Let's get started. Question 1. Which Israelite king was in captivity in Babylon? A. Saul. B. David. C. Solomon. D. Jehoiachin. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Jehoiachin. Jehoiachin, along with the royal family and many others, was taken prisoner and brought to Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar II. This event is detailed in 2 Kings chapter 24, verses 12 to 15, which describes the capture and deportation of Jehoiachin after reigning for only 3 months. Question 2. Hagar was a handmaid to which woman? A. Leah. B. Sarah. C. Rachel. D. Rebecca. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Sarah. Sarah gave Hagar to Abraham as a concubine in hopes that through Hagar she could have a child, as Sarah herself was barren at the time. Hagar's story is pivotal in the Genesis narrative, illustrating themes of desperation, divine intervention, and the complexities of familial relationships. Genesis chapter 16. Question 3. What was the occupation of Rahab? A. Midwife. B. Merchant. C. Prostitute. D. Innkeeper. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Prostitute. She is most famously known for hiding 2 Israelite spies who came to scout the city in preparation for the Israelite invasion. Rahab's story, including her occupation and her pivotal role in assisting the Israelites, is recounted in Joshua chapter 2, verses 1 to 21, highlighting her faith and the transformative power of her actions. Question 4. Which man was not a king during the time of Hosea? A. Ahaz. B. Uzziah. C. Jotham. D. Jehoash. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Jehoash. Jehoash, also known as Joash, of Judah, was not reigning as king during the time of the prophet Hosea. While Hosea prophesied during the reigns of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz of Judah, and Jeroboam II of Israel. As per Hosea chapter 1, verse 1, Jehoash of Judah's reign had ended prior to these kings. Jehoash's reign is detailed in 2 Kings chapter 12, verses 1 to 21, which does not overlap with the prophetic period of Hosea. Question 5. Which king is symbolically crowned in the book of Zechariah? A. Joshua. B. David. C. Solomon. D. Hezekiah. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Joshua. Joshua, the high priest, is symbolically crowned in the book of Zechariah. This act, described in Zechariah chapter 6, verses 11 to 13, signifies the merging of priestly and royal offices, symbolizing the Messiah, who would hold both roles. Cherished friend, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more great and engaging content in the future. Question 6. What did Balaam's donkey see on the road that caused it to turn aside in fear? A. A lion. B. A snake. C. An angel. D. A chariot. You get 10 seconds. That's C. An angel. Balaam's donkey saw an angel of the Lord standing in the road, wielding a drawn sword which caused it to turn aside. This encounter served as a divine warning to Balaam, who was on his way to curse the Israelites at the behest of Balak, the Moabite king. This event highlights God's direct intervention to prevent Balaam from proceeding with his harmful intentions. Numbers chapter 22, verse 23. Question 7. Who did the Israelites want to make king after delivering them from the Midianites? A. Ezra. B. Gideon. C. Saul. D. Jonah. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Gideon. After Gideon's victory over the Midianites, the Israelites asked him to rule over them as king. Gideon refused, insisting that the Lord should rule over Israel. This event is documented in Judges chapter 8, verses 22 to 23, emphasizing Gideon's humility and his recognition of God's sovereignty. Question 8. What did the Israelites do while Moses was on the mountain? A. Fought a battle. B. Gathered manna. C. Built an altar to God. D. Made a golden calf and worshipped it. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Made a golden calf and worshipped it. While Moses was on Mount Sinai receiving the law, the Israelites constructed and worshipped a golden calf. This act of idolatry occurred because they grew impatient during Moses' absence and pressured Aaron to make them a god. This betrayal angered God and Moses, as recounted in Exodus chapter 32, verses 1 to 8. Question 9. Who was Zerubbabel? A. A governor. B. A prophet. C. A priest. D. A king. You get 10 seconds. That's A. A governor. Zerubbabel was the governor of Judah during the time of the return from the Babylonian captivity and played a key role in the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. He is mentioned as a leader in the efforts to restore the temple and re-establish worship practices among the returning exiles, as recorded in the books of Ezra and Haggai. Question 10. Which prophet's bones brought the dead back to life when they touched them? A. Isaiah. B. Elijah. C. Elisha. D. Jeremiah. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Elisha. The bones of the prophet Elisha brought a dead man back to life when they touched them. This miraculous event occurred when a deceased man was hastily thrown into Elisha's tomb, and upon touching Elisha's bones, he revived and stood up. This instance of miraculous resurrection is detailed in 2 Kings chapter 13, verse 21, highlighting Elisha's enduring holy power even in death. Question 11. Which biblical character claimed his wife was his sister? A. Isaac. B. Jacob. C. Moses. D. Abraham. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Abraham. Abraham claimed that his wife Sarah was his sister. He did this twice to protect himself from potential harm due to Sarah's beauty, first in Egypt and then in the land of the Philistines. These incidents are documented in Genesis chapter 12, verses 10 to 20, and Genesis chapter 20, verses 1 to 18, revealing Abraham's fears and the complexities of his faith journey. Question 12. Who was Phinehas? A. A king. B. A priest. C. A judge. D. A prophet. You get 10 seconds. That's B. A priest. Phinehas was a priest, the grandson of Aaron, known for his zealous action that stopped a plague among the Israelites. His decisive act involved killing an Israelite man and a Midianite woman who were defying Moses' commands regarding idolatry. This event, which underscored his commitment to God's law, Numbers chapter 25, verses 7 to 13, earned Phinehas a covenant of peace and a lasting priesthood for his descendants due to his zeal. Question 13. What Babylonian name was given to Daniel? A. Cyrus. B. Darius. C. Belteshazzar. D. Nebuchadnezzar. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Belteshazzar. This renaming occurred after Daniel was taken into Babylonian captivity, where he and other young men from Judah were educated for service in the Babylonian court. The name change was meant to signify assimilation into Babylonian culture, even as Daniel maintained his Hebrew identity and faith. Daniel chapter 1, verse 7. Question 14. In Zechariah's vision, who was sitting in the ephah? A. A woman. B. A child. C. A scroll. D. An angel. You get 10 seconds. That's A, a woman. This vision, detailed in Zechariah chapter 5, verses 7 to 11, symbolizes wickedness being contained and removed from the land of Judah. The woman, representative of iniquity, is shown being sealed in an ephah, a large measuring container, and then carried away to Babylon, indicating the removal of sin from the land in preparation for God's reign. Question 15. What gods did the descendants of those who entered the Promised Land worship? A, a golden goat. B, Dagon and Gog. C, Zeus and Athena. D, Baal and Asherah. You get 10 seconds. That's D, Baal and Asherah. The descendants of those who entered the Promised Land worshipped various gods, including Baal and Ashtoreth. This idolatry is noted throughout the book of Judges, such as in Judges chapter 2, verses 11 to 13, where it describes the Israelites forsaking the Lord to serve Baal and Ashtoreth, leading to cycles of sin, oppression, and deliverance. Question 16. What did God call the Israelites after they worshiped the golden calf? A, wayward flock. B, stiff-necked people. C, lost generation. D, rebellious nation. You get 10 seconds. That's B, stiff-necked people. After the Israelites worshipped the golden calf, God called them a stiff-necked people. This term is used to describe their stubbornness and disobedience in the face of His commandments. The phrase appears in Exodus chapter 32, verse 9, during God's conversation with Moses about the Israelites' actions while Moses was on Mount Sinai. Question 17. Manasseh, son of Hezekiah, was which of the following? A slave. B, a shepherd. C, king of Judah. D, the owner of a vineyard. You get 10 seconds. That's C, king of Judah. Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah, was a king of Judah known for his idolatrous practices that reversed the religious reforms of his father Hezekiah. His reign included the restoration of pagan worship and the desecration of the temple with idolatrous symbols. Manasseh's actions and their consequences are extensively detailed in 2 Kings, chapter 21, verses 1 to 18, highlighting his significant departure from the worship of Yahweh. Question 18. To whom did God instruct to name his son Jezreel? A, Hosea. B, Isaac. C, Isaiah. D, Abraham. You get 10 seconds. That's A, Hosea. God instructed the prophet Hosea to name his son Jezreel. This directive was part of a prophetic message about the impending punishment for the house of Jehu due to the bloodshed at Jezreel. Naming his son Jezreel symbolized the end of the kingdom of Israel. This is detailed in Hosea, chapter 1, verses 4 to 5. Question 19. Which king took the vessels from the house of the Lord, later returned by Cyrus? A. Darius. B. Artaxerxes. C. Ahasuerus. D. Nebuchadnezzar. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon took the vessels from the house of the Lord when he besieged Jerusalem and destroyed the temple. These sacred vessels were later returned by King Cyrus of Persia, who allowed the Jewish exiles to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. This event is chronicled in Ezra, chapter 1, verses 7 to 11. Question 20. Who was Naomi's husband? A. Chilion. B. Elimelech. C. Boaz. D. Mahlon. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Elimelech. The family lived in Bethlehem but moved to Moab during a famine. After Elimelech's death, Naomi remained in Moab with her 2 sons who also later died, leaving her and her daughters-in-law, including Ruth, in a state of widowhood. Elimelech's role and his death are mentioned in the opening chapter of the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verses 1 to 3. Question 21. As a child, Samuel lived with which priest? A. Eli. B. Aaron. C. Zadok. D. Abiathar. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Eli. Samuel lived with Eli, the high priest at the tabernacle in Shiloh. Hannah, Samuel's mother, dedicated him to the Lord's service under Eli's mentorship, as described in 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 24 to 28. Eli played a significant role in Samuel's early life and spiritual formation. Question 22. Who was not a king during Isaiah's lifetime? A. Uzziah. B. Jotham. C. Solomon. D. Hezekiah. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Solomon. Solomon was not a king during Isaiah's lifetime. Isaiah prophesied during the reigns of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, all of whom reigned after Solomon. Solomon's reign is detailed much earlier in the biblical narrative, primarily in 1 Kings, chapters 1 to 11, well before the time of Isaiah. Question 23. In what form did God appear when he passed before Elijah the prophet? A. A fire. B. A strong wind. C. An earthquake. D. A gentle whisper. You get 10 seconds. That's D. A gentle whisper. When God passed before Elijah the prophet, he appeared not in the wind, earthquake, or fire, but as a gentle whisper. This event occurred on Mount Horeb, where Elijah sought refuge from Jezebel's threats. This profound encounter is detailed in 1 Kings chapter 19, verses 11 to 13, emphasizing the subtle and personal nature of God's communication. Question 24. Who was called the father of music? A. Jubal, B. David, C. Asaph, D. Solomon. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Jubal. Jubal was called the father of music according to the Bible. He is described as the first person to play the harp and flute, marking the beginning of musical development in human history. Jubal's contributions to music are mentioned in Genesis chapter 4, verse 21, highlighting his role as a pioneer in the arts within the biblical narrative. Question 25. Who mocked King David when he danced before the Ark of God? A. Nathan, B. Michal, C. Absalom, D. Bathsheba. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Michal. As David returned the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, celebrating with dancing and rejoicing, Michal, the daughter of Saul and wife of David, despised him in her heart for what she perceived as undignified behavior. This incident is recorded in 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 16 and verse 20 to 23, illustrating tensions within their marriage. Oh wow, what a thrilling exploration through the Old Testament. How did you do on this challenging quiz? Whether you mastered every question or learned a few new facts, remember that the scriptures are an endless treasure trove waiting to be uncovered. If this quiz piqued your interest, please give the video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family to challenge them as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tough quizzes and in-depth insights into the Bible. We greatly appreciate your feedback, so please let us know your score and any questions or ideas for future quizzes in the comments below. Together, we can continue to deepen our knowledge of the sacred text. Thank you for participating in our 25 hardest Old Testament Bible quiz today. May your journey through the Bible continue to be enriching and enlightening. See you in the next video.